Ryan is a geneticist, among many other things. I think he's probably the most interesting guy to talk to. So, Ryan, buddy, what is going on with Astral Terran Genetics, aka ATG?
ATG, yeah. Astral Terran Genetics is a company we've started basically to house the mission that we've been collaborating on. ATG is the first three letters of every gene on Earth, and we're a genetics company. So right now we're doing a lot of genetic analysis and public education, but the future's wide open. Genetics is just getting started for humanity.
It's cool. When we met, it was through Dr. Adil Khan. I had questions.
Yeah.
You answered them, and we got, I was so excited about everything you did.
Yeah.
Like when I found out the things that you were doing, I feel like the Grinch, when his heart grew 5 sizes that day. I was I feel like something inside me, I was like, wow, all these things that, I thought were maybe possible, and you're doing them,
Yeah, they're totally possible. Yeah, we've had a lot of deep discussions around, your Grinch heart, metaphorically.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was you talked about your lifelong kind of dread of black holes.
Yeah.
And at one point, we talked about how many stars there are in the universe, and how many. And you felt like a light could win.
You made me so happy that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I've always had this deep, dark fear of collapse.
Yeah.
An inevitable black hole death.
Yeah.
And you made me see a bigger infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity is such a crazy concept, right?
For sure.
All things are possible through genetics. Through infinity. That's what I meant to say. I think I skipped ahead to where genetics and infinity interact, and we come up with human beings and stuff. It's amazing, right?
It's beyond amazing. And the thing about genetics is it's big numbers. We have 3 billion digits of code. We each have 5 billion mutations. So our starting point is so suboptimal. So many easy improvements we can make. But it's fundamentally a creative endeavor. It's not just patching the bad stuff. It's not just throwing in a few good things. We're in a creative design phase, and creativity is inexhaustible. So it's a form of infinity.
know that this gene is responsible for this,
Yeah.
and you know when there's mutations on a certain gene, it correlates with.
Yeah, there's some of the super important genes are really well understood. Maybe 1 to 10% of them are like superstars that we know a ton about. Even those though.
How many did you say?
1 to 10%.
1 to 10%.
Like there's very.
Well, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's also not. This is the human genetics we're talking about. We want to know.
And why have you learned those first? They're like the most obvious.
Disease genes.
Diseases,
Yeah,
right?
so cystic fibrosis.
1 to 10% of like star genes, you call them.
Yep.
Have they mostly been identified because of defects and problems and disease and illness? Is that how those diseases, those genetics have mostly been found, or?
I think it's a mixture. Some have been found because they're super bad. Some because they're super good.
Which ones have been found because they're super good?
Clotho is one.
Which one?
Clotho.
Clotho.
Yeah, follistatin.
Follistatin.
FOXO3.
FOXO3. What's FOXO3?
FOXO3 is the human analog of the worm gene DAF2. Actually, DAF16, sorry. All of longevity research changed in 1993. They mutated one base in the worm genome and doubled its lifespan.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So that's FOXO3.
That FOXO3 is the gene downstream of that's responsible for lifespan extension.
Oh.
So some centenarian.
Why haven't I heard of this one yet?
Because science hasn't done a good job educating the public about genetics.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so listen, we could talk for a very, very long time. We are probably like 10 minutes from practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking for everybody, right? Like we get excited about, some pretty wild stuff.
Yes.
Right? But we got an event this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And because of my proximity with a lot of the strength world and the combat world and obviously the arm wrestlers, we've had a ton of our guys sequenced.
Yep.
Right? And everybody's agreed, public data, and it's for science.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. I personally believe that it would be very, I think it'd just be incorrect of me to hold my data from my perspective, because I feel like I come from an infinite line of life behind me.
Yeah.
And to somehow say that I have ownership of this bit of information, I think would be some kind of ridiculous level of entitlement that I find offensive myself. But
sure,
I understand not everyone's like that, but everybody on this. So when you look at the athletes of East versus West.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Are you going to do an analysis for the league?
Yeah, we just wrapped up an updated analysis, which is basically a comparison matrix.
Yeah.
So we're looking at muscle, tendon, bone, neural drive genes across maybe 10 of the top athletes from East versus West, and a lot of cool stuff has popped out.
Yeah, it is super cool. Like, I find it super, super neat because it gives me so much information as a fan, Like, I love it. When I can know their height, their weight, their muscle fiber type. Do they have any like mutations that give them like extra this or extra that? Like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. My excitement is just great. When I was a kid, I spent countless hours going through baseball cards, looking at the stats.
Yeah.
Looking at this table, if I had the opportunity to look at my favorite athlete's genetics, especially in a sport like this, it's the most fun thing.
But to me, it's not just arm wrestling. We obviously started with arm wrestling because, I'm an arm wrestler. You arm wrestled.
I'm gonna arm wrestle
right.
tonight.
And I'm super just enthusiastic about it, so I'm trying.
Yeah.
But I mean, fighting, chess, poker, whatever. I'm so curious about all of it.
Endurance too.
Endurance, the big one, the big race we're all running, longevity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's to me, it's just so fascinating that we can look at this stuff and then have this information. Where do you think the field is going to be most impactful?
What do you mean?
Well, where will Astral Terran genetics be most impactful?
Yeah, 100%. I think reaching the public, communicating effectively to spread excitement and accurate information creative types of analysis that fill in gaps by kind of like cookie cutter, broad strokes analysis. And we have a great track record at innovating new therapies across many different modes of therapies. So public outreach, genetic analysis, therapy development, I think all of them.
You have to be protected, Ryan. My God. You shouldn't probably drive with me. You should probably only take Ubers from now on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. What do you think? What do you personally, if you could do upgrades, what is the first area that you're looking for? I feel like as a geneticist, it's almost like you have wishes. You can...
Yeah, of course. Everybody has wishes when you talk to them. For me, it's 1 and 2 for sure are cognition and mitochondria, aka endurance.
So being smart and being able to go forever.
Yeah, and it's not like I would go run a lot. It's just that money makes the world go round and energy makes biology go round. And if you have more mitochondria, you're basically bioenergetically rich.
Yeah.
It just helps a lot of things.
Right. So you can do that? You can up your mitochondria, you think?
Well, we found those mutations in you, actually.
So, really?
Yeah, so I'm sure
you'll be serious?
Happy to contribute your
Oh my God, well,
your special
you're
mutation.
welcome, everybody. Yeah. You're welcome. Now you'll all be able to stay at the table for a monotonous amount of time. Yeah. Does mitochondria have anything to do with age?
Massively, yeah.
Good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Almost everything converges on the mitochondria. Cognition, longevity, performance. It's like if you have to pick one thing, turn those mitochondria way up is a pretty safe bet.
So I guess really again, I'm so excited about the part of the program where we find these mutations in other people.
Yeah.
Do you think that so far that you will be able to take one of these and make already something that can be put into people? No, I'm talking about from the people that we sequenced.
Yeah, 1,000,000%, yeah. There's more than I can count off the top of my head.
It's amazing. So big thanks to everybody who has been sequenced in the past, right? You guys are helping science. I think that this stuff can have impact on our species, imagine if every single person in the world had the option to be 7% smarter, or have bones that would break 20% less likely,
yeah.
And then you just add all those up and you have a richer society. I don't know. Am I wrong for thinking this way?
You're 100% correct. People experience biological dysfunction, and it leads to chronic, background suffering, and it distracts them from higher order purposes in life.
Right.
So you just kind of help people get cleaned up a little bit, and it helps basically everything.
You need access to data and AI and crazies. You need Elon Musk to buy into this. Elon Musk, help Ryan set up a lab.
We gotta. Humanity's not genetically ready to go to space.
No,
but
how
there's
can you
nothing
be?
I would rather work on than getting us ready to go to space.
Right?
Yeah.
Our highest calling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Insurance. Yeah, the expansion of territory, right? And now it's time to rip. It's time to mess these poor high hookers up. Yeah. All right, everybody, check out. I hope that they get you on and they do an analysis for Batumi. Even wouldn't that be amazing?
I think the analysis we've done is going to make a good proposal, and I'm pretty optimistic.
Yeah. Is there anything in there, Ryan, that I can share with the world? Anything?
I don't know if the world's ready for that. Yeah.